you have the privilege of meeting any professors or anyone, right, go and seek their guidance, right. So this thing I do with respect to essay. So in Bangalore also I was doing, and again I am coming here and I am meeting the students. I am doing that here also. So what I mean by this is, like we got second highest marks in essay this year. Rank 31, he got 147. Somebody said highest is 150 marks. 150, right? 150, 206. So this also story. So I claimed 147. मुझे पता नहीं था 150. Somebody had scored. So on Twitter I put our student very proudly has scored 147, and it is the highest. Somebody commented, sorry to disappoint you. So disappointment कहाँ है पे इसमें, ठीक है. So he is ranked 206 and ours is ranked 31, है ना. So there is no disappointment. So what happened? He is a first attempt guy. He is from National Law School. His name is Avinash. So he graduated from National Law School, Bangalore. So he was a OGP student, our offline guidance program student. First attempt, we usually encourage our students to write essays from the very first week itself. So here what I heard is that people don't encourage students to write essays until they have completed the coaching, because they don't have the content, right, but they have the brain, right. So people think that they cannot write. We encourage them to write. So he used to write every week one essay and get it evaluated. So I noticed that he had done this extra bit of reading, had the habit of reading fiction, non-fiction, and had written few articles to journals and all. So he was basically good in writing, but the law students in the beginning bring so much depth, they focus on one dimension and they treat it as a thesis kind of stuff. So with regular feedback and evaluations, somehow I made him write more dimensions and all those things, but the evaluators were not recognizing it. In essay, when it comes to essay paper, I encouraged him to do one thing. Number one, maintain the originality. The whatever experiences, whatever readings you have done, bring them in your essay. But while bringing them, don't pollute it by the advices given by the toppers and coaching institutions. People do, right? Like you divide your essay into the very basic pestle approach. The pestle approach: political, economic, social, technological, legal, environmental. That is one approach. There is another approach which is seen in most of the essays, that your essay is divided into two parts. You have the topic, you have introduction, and you write the pro arguments about the topic. Second half you write against the topic, and then in the end you write the way forward, solution part, and then the conclusion. So this is the dominant form of writing essay when it comes to UPSC. So there is another form like temporal and spatial analysis, right? So you have like ancient to modern kind of division, and then you have division based on like geographical wise or something like this. So I told him completely discard these kind of things, because 99% of the competition is doing the same thing, right? Your originality is lost by the way you structure your essay, right? Because somebody is recommending write introduction, with 2 stories. Start your introduction with 2 stories. Because somebody told, everybody started doing that. Scene 1, scene 2, scenario 1, scenario 2, story 1, story 2, case 1, case 2. Some people, in order to make original, they change the word scene to case, the introduction, right? The story remains the same. The first story is pro, second story is contrasting, against, right? And evaluators started noticing this kind of herd mentality. And last 3 years I have seen the people who have scored highest marks in essay are the ones who have good reading habit, right? So this guy, I told him, you write it like a story, like you just go with your thought process, give complete freedom to your mind, right? So but keeping in mind, it should be rich with ideas, your essay. There should be diversity of thoughts, diversity of arguments, and for argument there should be kind of counter argument, and if you can able to negate that counter argument. And another aspect of bringing originality is either going with the pro or against the topic in the entirety of the essay. But wherever you don't agree, you can bring counter arguments always. So I hope you are getting this point, right? So you have a topic, so you are arguing in favor of the topic, but if you are worried about what about other dimension, so you can divide your essay. If you have seen any of my essay perspective videos, like I used to do, it is there on YouTube. So for argument there is counter argument, that is the other side of the story, giving space to the other side of the story where you constructively criticize it. So what do you mean by constructive criticism? So you are objectively criticizing something, but at the same time you are giving solution also to solve the problem, right? So that is what, instead of dividing your essay into pro first half, against, and then way forward, there is a way to divide your essay into thematically 4 to 5 dimensions. Within each dimension you can actually do the entire analysis of that argument, right? So that is the mature essay which comes by reading standard sources. It is those kind of essays which are actually getting these 147 or 150 marks. All the conventional essays, now if you have observed most of the essay marks, there is this gap. The concentration of marks is between 100 to 120 and then around 135 to maybe 140, like toppers marks. And again, like in optional subject, there are like 2 to 3 individuals who have crossed the barrier. Like again, they have advantage of around 10-15 marks compared to the rest of the toppers. In every optional, you have 1-2 individuals who have scored 300 plus. In essay also, we are seeing the same. In ethics also, 1 or 2 who have scored above 125 or 130, but rest of them are concentrated, around just above average scores. The reason is, it is an encouraging sign in a way that UPSC is recognizing that kind of talents, right? And I believe everyone sitting here, if you can put little extra efforts, right, somewhat moving away from the competition, the herd mentality, if you can bring your individual experiences, your individual strengths into your answers, your essays, you can be those exceptions in your particular subject. It can be essay, it can be optional, right? So if you have already come with that kind of experience, effectively use it. Now don't go by the coaching institution if they say that you're not structuring well, this example is not suitable or something like that. Be your own judge, and I believe this trend will continue, this rewarding some kind of freshness which people bring into their papers through their original thinking or original like extra effort they have done is being rewarded, and it will continue to be rewarded, right? So for essay and ethics, we are going to start a series like for essay, in order to, because you don't have much time with you to do all this reading of books and all. So one quick suggestion I can make is there is one app called as Blinkist. Blinkist? There is this app called Blinkist. Anyway, B-L-I-N-K-L-I-S-T, Blinkist. So it is a Android and iOS. So what this app does is that it actually summarizes all the important books, right? So I think it's a paid app. For 1 or 2 months you can buy it, 100 rupees I think. So what it does is it summarizes the most important, not every book almost which is coming into market. The books of Nobel Prize winning Booker, all big books. So